Welcome into the Sports Blitz social scene. I'm your host, Randy Lee. Glad to be here with my very good friend, Andy Graham, who is the host of our Sports Blitz live programming as well as Auburn Blitz. And, Andy, we get caught up thinking that you and I, who grew up together, even though you're a lot older than I am. We'll pass that along, too. But we get to thinking everyone kind of knows us because everybody we hang around with doing the programs we've grown up with here in the Alexander City community. But a lot of people don't know who we are. Don't know where we came from, and don't know why our allegiance is with whichever teams they are. So one thing we're enjoying doing here on the Sports Blitz social scene is looking from behind, looking from where you grew up and how you got where you are. So we're glad to be here with Andy Graham, a little get to know.
Sure Shot, located on Highway 280 in Alexander City, is Lake Martin Sportsman's headquarters. In the market for a new rifle or shotgun? Come to the Sure Shot. Want a new bow or need to practice with the one you have? Come to the Sure Shot. Thinking about a firearm for self-defense? Come to the Sure Shot. Got a hunt planned and need some gear? Come to the Sure Shot. For all your archery, shooting, and hunting needs, let the Sure Shot be your first stop.
Andy, give us a little background on you, where you grew up, high school you went to, all of those positive things.
Born and raised in Alexander City, of course. Went to Benjamin Russell High School. Very much enjoyed my time there. Went on to Central Alabama Community College for a couple of years, and then went on to Auburn University. And, I grew up here just like about everybody else, in a small town. Really enjoyed that. Feel like that's kind of who I am, a small town kind of guy. Never wanted to live in a big city. So Alexander City pretty much fits me to a bill.
It does, and your family, a majority of your family and your extended family grew up here also, didn't
they? They did. Mother and father both from Alexander City as well. I grew up with a father that went to Auburn University, graduated in 1969, I think. His brother went to Auburn as well. So pretty much, that was my future was mapped out. My father was not really a big-time sports fan, but he did like Auburn, and I think my love for Auburn probably came from my brother a little bit. Growing up, he was 5 years older than me, but he was a huge fan, and of course he talked about it, and he talked about it with his friends, and I kind of grew up tagging along with that. And my fondest memories of growing up in Alex City are on Saturday afternoons. Of course, kids today don't really they can't really understand it, but you were lucky if two games were on TV back when we grew up. So my fondest memories are out throwing the football in the backyard, listening to Jim 5 on the radio. And, those kind of memories, listening to those games, I still remember, where I was on a lot of those and Jim 5's calls. And that's one of the things that I always, broadcasting became a kind of a desire because of listening to the radio, doing that. And again, the play-by-play guys today, they do a great job, but it's not quite the same as it used to be. There's just not that connection, I don't think, with the fans like it used to be because you were so dependent on them to paint that picture because there wasn't as much TV coverage. But, I've just always been an Auburn fan. It's always been a passion of mine, and it really goes across the board. Any kind of sport that Auburn plays, I'm gonna be part of it.
I'm always interested. Do you remember the first game you went to? Do you remember who you were with, or your first memories of Jim Fife, or some of those games that you listened? How about that?
I remember going to a game in '88, maybe Southeast Louisiana, something like that. But it wasn't really. It was, I think, the Benjamin Russell High School marching band, which my brother was in at the time. Auburn used to do this thing where all the high school bands would go, and they would do the halftime show. So I snuck in there with my dad and, with the band and went to that game. And I remember it was a day game, but it wasn't really that much of anything. But unfortunately, my father passed away in 1989, but I had an uncle, Larry Graham, who took me to several games in 89 and 90. And those are the games that I really remember. And I kind of consider, when it really got started. 89. Went to the Pacific game. Auburn won 55-0. I think Pacific disbanded the program shortly thereafter. But I went to that Florida game Auburn won 10-7. Shane Washington in the corner of the end zone, huge. That was an enormous game. Went to the Iron Bowl, one of the biggest, probably maybe the biggest Iron Bowl ever for Auburn. 1989, Auburn won 30-20. So I got to be a part of those. I was at the tie from Tennessee in 1990. It was at 26-all or 26-all.
Big comeback in the second half.
Big comeback with Stan White, led the big comeback after being down. Florida State, Auburn won 21-17. That was, that kind of the stumbling, bumbling quarterback for Florida State on fourth down gives Auburn an opportunity to drive down for the winning field goal or the winning score. It was just a tremendous. Those have kind of formed my love for even going to the games. I didn't go to a lot after that. I've had season tickets since 2003 or 2004 maybe. Went to several games in 02 and 03, but ever since 2004 I've been there for pretty much every home game.
We all take winding roads to get where we are, and Andy, you have been on one as well. To be sitting here as a broadcaster, I think, was always your hopes and dreams, but it took a little bit of a different path. We've been doing Auburn broadcasting for almost 5 years now, and you've been doing Sports Blitz broadcasting, writing for right at a decade. But can you go back to going to Auburn University, your plans to go into broadcasting, it taking a turn, and then ending up doing this a little bit?
Yeah, I mean that was always that was the goal when I transferred to Auburn from Central Alabama, and I went into communications, or RTF more specifically, radio, television, and film. Brett and I were the same major when we were at Auburn, and that's kind of what I had in mind. Broadcasting is kind of a feast or famine type business, and I understood that going in. But I like you said, took a little bit of a winding road. I was in a car accident in 1998. Was spinal cord injury, C5, which of course left me paralyzed. But that pretty much threw me for a loop, and that was a big challenge to deal with. But you guys, you and Brett, obviously, asked me to come on, and it all started, I guess, with they were wanting somebody to write a column in the Outlook for the Auburn. You had Luke Robinson writing the Alabama voice, so they needed an Auburn voice. And you said, I remember you saying, you'll do that because Brett and I don't have time, and you'll do a much better job than we will. And I always enjoyed writing, and I started just on my own, probably around, 2000, 2002, something like that. I would write an SEC preview, and I'd send it just to all my friends. And I did that for about 5 or 6 years. And so that's kind of how it got started. And I started writing a column in the Outlook, and I've been doing that now since, I guess, 2011. And then, little by little, it got to, I did one little segment on Sports Blitz, and then somehow or another, I don't really quite know how, but now I'm hosting the show twice a week. I did it on Tuesday and Saturday. And then, we did Sports Call from 2013 to 2016, those 4 football seasons. That was an enormous amount of fun. That really, that just kind of, first time really I'd ever done anything like that. I still remember the first show, doing it from this room. And it was, I want to go back to, I won't tell you everything that happened, but I remember when you come into a room and the first things that are said are, we may just wait, do it tomorrow. We may just wait. We may have to, because some of the technology wasn't quite right, or we couldn't get a signal. And the first show that we did, I think we cut out on us 2 or 3 times, but it just so happened that it cut out during a commercial. I mean, it was amazing that it happened that way. But look, I mean, it got better and better, and I've enjoyed it so much more and more. And now I have an opportunity to kind of do that again with the Auburn Blitz.
I'll stop real quick, and then we'll come back to the Auburn Blitz to close it out.
What value would you gain working with Lee Marketing Group? With 4 divisions under one umbrella, Sign Source, Lee Apparel, R&B Sports Media, and LMG Advertising Agency, Lee Marketing Group offers a comprehensive approach. From logo design, tees and signs, ad placement, and everything in between, LMG can handle it all. For ease of time, cutting-edge, results-driven marketing campaigns, think LMG, Lee Marketing Group, your comprehensive marketing solution.
But one thing that's been funny to me is you go back and you say Luke Robinson writing for the Bama side, you for the Auburn. The dynamic between y'all two on Sports Blitz Live, I think, y'all just have a chemistry together. And I think that's kind of funny because both of you are highly intelligent. I'll say that. But with the two of you being so rabid of fans as the opposite side, to get the two of y'all together is one of the things that I enjoy the most about Sports Blitz now.
Yeah, Luke, you're exactly right. Luke's probably, and I think we both would say this, Luke's probably one of the smartest guys we know. I'm amazed at how much he can do. And, I mean, we've done Auburn Blitz for, a week, and doing 5 days a week, and I'm exhausted. That's about an eighth of what he does in a day. So he's got a lot going on. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I always considered Luke and listening to him on Sports Blitz and reading some of the columns that he's written. I always say, we were kind of polar opposites. And then the more we have worked together, the more I'm finding, to my chagrin, that we have a lot more in common than I ever would have thought. But, yeah, we really enjoyed it. I like playing off against Luke because I don't know if you know this, but he's a pretty big Alabama fan. And he sees things. He claims he sees things in an unbiased way. But, I mean, I claim the same thing, and neither of us are telling the truth. So, but it's been a lot of fun, and I think, you need that kind of balance of and if you're going to have, somebody be really passionate about Auburn, somebody really passionate about Alabama, having them together, I think it works out best.
We enjoyed Sports Call. I want to thank 93.9, the Tiger, and all that they did for us to allow us to host that program for 3.5 years. When we lost it, whenever 93.9 became the affiliate of Auburn Athletics and would need to take more games in the afternoon, we felt a little bit of a drop-off there. And Andy, we're thrilled to have Auburn Blitz up now. You can catch us from 12 to 1 every day on Facebook Live, Monday through Friday. Talk about it a little bit. I know it's your passion, and being able to move this to a 5-day show is something we're all looking forward to.
Yeah, it is. I love doing Sports Blitz, but that's, we take Alabama, Auburn, we're professional sports when it's relevant, but this is just Auburn, just solely Auburn, and that's that's what I enjoy talking about the most. I'm going to talk about it anyway, so I might as well talk about it and get a little paid for it. But we started this, of course, last Monday, or I guess it was, what day was that? The first 27th.
Close enough.
Close enough. But we Monday through Friday, and just for an hour's worth of show, we're finding. I'm finding that it's a little bit. It goes by before I even know it, and I try to plan out to. Some things to talk about, and I find out, we're not getting to hardly, a lot of the things that I'd like to get to, but just because we get so in depth. But that's kind of the fun of it, and plus you can interact with so many people out there. Of course, you take phone calls on a show like Sports Call, but this one you get comments from people, and they're instantaneous, and we don't have to pause to take a phone call. We just, you read 3 or 4 comments right down the list, and it doesn't take hardly any time at all. But you're interacting with people, and so hopefully this will continue to grow. And we've had some, I think, probably exceeded our expectations so far for this first week. But hopefully that will continue to grow. And it's again, it's something that Auburn's something I can talk about all year long. And we're going to talk about football. We're going to talk about basketball when it gets here, because Bruce Pearl's in his 4th year. There's a lot of excitement about that team. Auburn baseball finally seemed like maybe they got the right guy in charge, and Butch Thompson. So we're going to talk about baseball when that's here. But I'm looking forward to what's going to come from this, and maybe watch this thing to grow and hopefully become kind of a staple.
I lied. I want to ask you one more question.
Please.
As we exit, you're not all about sports.
No.
There's other things in your life that you enjoy. And then for those that watch and listen to us, they know there's a lot more out there that you're interested in, because you and I could talk for an hour and only talk about sports for 30 minutes of it. But just let everyone out there that's just getting to know you, Andy, know what you do outside of your love of sports.
Well, faith is a big part of my life. I'm very involved. I'm a member of the Alexander City Church of Christ, and I'm very involved there. I actually teach a class on Wednesday night. That's kind of that's a big deal. It's not just what's something that I do, it's something that I am. So I try to portray that in everything that I do and try to be, set a good example to everybody around me and try to always, do the right thing in everything that I do. I enjoy music. I enjoy movies. I don't get to as many movies as I used to, but I really do enjoy going out to movies. I enjoy watching them. I'm kind of I like old music. I like old movies. These kind of things. Some of the newer stuff I could take it or leave it, but I'm not really a complicated person. I try to live a pretty simple life, and I am, despite everything that's happened, despite the winding road that got me here, I'm fairly content and a pretty happy fellow.
Well, I will be the first to say that everything that you said and you portray here on TV and radio is exactly who you are. And since you're so much older than me, I can say that I look up to you, Andy. I see you as a hero of mine, and many of us do out there. So I'm glad that you passed along some of your story here, and we'll continue to do this on our social scene. Try to reach in and let you learn and meet and know these people that we talk with on the sports scene a little bit more. So thanks for tuning into the Sports Blitz social scene.
So, you may not know it, but you've seen our work everywhere. For a combined 50 years, SignSource has been Central Alabama's premier option for all your sign needs. Custom signs for your business, club, or organization. Wraps and decals for your vehicle or boat. Full-color banners for your big sale, or a photo collage on canvas for grandma. All with fast, friendly, prompt service. Check out our website at signsourcenow.com. 888-533-6758. Go straight to the source. SignSource.